Hare Krishna. And
Hare.
many of you may know Radhapada Pankaja Prabhu already. He has been here in this group a few times before, but just to ensure that you all know what is his level. Sorry, Prabhu, I have to speak in this way. Radhapada Pankaj Prabhu has been one of the most senior devotees in Damodar Desh ISKCON, and he is very instrumental in many services he does. But primarily, we know him more because of his authentic and authoritative lectures on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and various Shastric topics. And while you will see many people speaking on Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, but there is a kind of a peripheral knowledge that is also required to understand the details of why so and so topic and how is it related with the spiritual aspect of it. That knowledge you will not find in many people, but Radhapada Pankaj Prabhu possesses. So deity worship related knowledge, the technicalities behind deity worship, why so and so things are done in so and so manner, and various other aspects, astrological aspects and various other aspects. So while he speaks about today's verses, I would also request you to make the best use of his availability and ask him absolutely any question that can come to your mind. That is the best use of his availability. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Subal Prabhu, you have put me in a fix now. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I welcome the members on this forum. It is very nice to have you all on a Saturday morning. Subal Prabhu has been very gracious in giving these kind words and wishes to me. I definitely am not to that level, but yes, I would love to serve the Vaishnavas and be in their service forever. In whichever little bit way I can do it, will do it. This is one of my favorite chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam, actually. The beauty of the Lord entering Dwarka also means that it is like जब भगवान घर आते हैं तो हम उत्सव मनाते हैं. And for Dwarka Vasis, this was a big 2.5 years almost gap. The Lord used to come and go Hastinapur, Dwarka, Dwarka, Hastinapur, because he was involved in the Kurukshetra Yuddha Bhumi. He was involved right from the time when the Pandavas began the Agyatvas. Since then, the Lord went and met them before the Agyatvas could start, and the strategies were in place. And then the Agyatvas finished. The Virat Yuddha was there. After the Virat Yuddha, then other strategies were there as to how we can stop the war. Lord Krishna himself went as a Shanti Dut, but it didn't work. And then eventually it was decided that the war will go ahead. And the war happened. And then after the war happened, Yudhishthira was made the king. Then Yudhishthira had his own issues. Uttara was protected. Parikshit was protected. So like that, so many things happened. So this around 2.5 years time, Dwarka was bereft of Krishna's vision. And they were like fish out of water because they were not used to such long absence of the Lord in Dwarka. For them, Krishna in Dwarka means, though technically Lord Krishna lived on the face of the earth for 125 years, out of which 111 years were spent by him in Dwarka. But still, with such a big time, the devotees who are used to seeing the Lord in so much of regularity, this 2.5 years was a big time. So when eventually at last Lord Krishna entered the borders of Dwarka, the entire Dwarka went into a frenzy. It was like, for them, one of the greatest days in their life. They became enlivened, their lives came back, and they felt very energetic. They felt very prafullit, very happy. So you see, in the process of this next few verses, which we will go through, so many things were done. So like, you would also know that during some kind of celebration in the house, we decorate the house, we put toran, we put mango leaves, we put banana leaves, we put people leaves, There are different kind of flowers. There are different kind of ingredients. We use rice, raw rice. We use patanga to make some decoration. So all this you will see happening now over here. And you will also get the mindset to it as to why this is important, because unfortunately, in the name of modernity and progressiveness, we feel that this is age-old thing and this has got no relevance. But this has got nothing to do with age-old. Even in the next 1,000 years, this will keep its relevance, whether we use it or not, whether we like it or not, or whether we feel there is a requirement for it or not. It stays in its area. So 5,000 years back, it was there. And today also, you see, it is relevant. So I'll just begin with the verse number 9. Before that, I'll just do the Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirya Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yatkipatam Munda Shri Puru Dimitarinam Parmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Maheshwaram. Hare Krishna. So we'll go to the verse number 9 now. It says, Yarya Ambukchaksha Pasarara Bho Bhavana Kurun Madhun Vatha Surut Dridikshaya Tatrabda Koti Pratimakshano Bhavet Ramim Ravim Minaksho Nastvaya Chutaha. O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like 1,000,000 years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless, as if bereft of sun. So as I told you, this was the mindset of the Hastinapur Dwarkavasis. And what it says that whenever you go over to Mathura, Vrindavan, Hastinapur, Madhun. The word used over here is Madhun. Madhun means the places where Krishna performed his sweet leelas. Madhun means also sweet. Madhun also means inhabitants of Mathura, Brajbhumi. So many a times when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you feel that did the Lord actually ever return back to Mathura or Vrindavan? The answer is a big yes. It was not once, but more than 3 times in the Karyakal of Lord Krishna in Dwarka of 110 years. At least 3 times he visited. But Srimad Bhagavatam does not talk about it when it happened, but the Dwarka Vasis are making a point over here. So I will get back to you on this point as to how Krishna would go and spend time in Braj with the gopis, which is directly opposite to the thought process that the Lord never ever visited Vrindavan. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. So I'll just go by the important lines in this. As long as the sun is there, our eyes are useful to a certain extent, but in the absence of sunshine, the eyes are useless. Lord Krishna is being compared to the primeval Lord, the Supreme Truth, compared to the sun. Without him, all our knowledge is either false or partial. The opposite of the sun is darkness, and similarly, the opposite of Krishna is Maya or illusion. So this is a very beautiful way of analytical analysis that Srila Prabhupada puts. He says that you can just see, okay, so somebody might argue that, oh, the sun is not there, but we have electricity. So let's take it for consideration that the electricity also fails. After some time, the generator goes off or the power is not there, or there is a big major breakdown and the repair is going on in our electrical supply area. How far will you be able to sit in the darkness? So what would you do next? Light a candle at least, but you won't be sitting in darkness. Because it is so much logical and so much what you say, it is our so much of our, I'm just failing to get that word. We are so much used to it, to be in light. Same way, whatever knowledge, whatever intelligence we have, unless it is not utilized for Krishna in his presence, it fails and it becomes a illusion. So by the grace of Lord, the pure devotees cannot be in the darkness of ignorance. So there is a beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It said, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite Tesham ivanu kampartham aham agyana jamtama. Krishna says that when you come under my surrenderance and you think about me and you become happy discussing my leelas, as my special mercy, anukampa, I remove the ignorance. Nashya me atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. With the jnana deepa, I remove the darkness of your heart and you become happy. Therefore, it is necessary that we must always be in the sight of Krishna. So that we can see both ourselves and the Lord with his different energies. So Krishna has many energies, and out of which the topmost energy is Karuna Shakti or Karuna Sindhu. We'll go to the next verse. Katham vayam natha chiroshite tvai prasanna drishtya akhila tapa soshanam jive mete sundara hasa shobhitam apasyamana vadanam manoharam iti chodirita vachaha pragnam bhaktavatsalaha chanvano anugriham drishtya vitanvan parshvitapuram. Further, the Dwarkavasi says, O Master, if you live about all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smile vanquishes all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who was very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwarka and acknowledged their greetings by casting his glance over them. So what we say, we call this as casting the transcendental glance, means Krishna ne anugrahit kar liya Dwarka Vasiyon. When we go to the temple, especially you are in a stress or you are in a pain or you are in some kind of very deep thought process which has kept you a little bit disturbed, try doing that. Just go to the temple, sit and see the Archa Vigraha of the Lord, and believe me, or just sit in front of your altar in your house. If the temple is too far away or it is too late in the night and it is closed and you can't go there, just go sit in front of your altar and look at the Mukharvinda of the Lord, and believe me, you will feel so much of peace in yourself. So that is the same thing that Dwarka Vasis are expressing their thoughts. They say that when we look at your attractive face, and on your face is a beautiful smile, all our sufferings just gets vanquished. And that is the reason what the Lord does. He does Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Batano. Kripa Drishti, transcendental glances, Kripa Drishti Vrishyati. And remember one thing, that when Krishna casts his glance, you cannot go straight in front of his eyes because the bhava is very high. So normally what we do traditionally is we stand sidewise. We don't go straight in front of the Archa Vigraha and do like that. We go to either left or right, and then we say, you do your transcendental glance from the side of your eyes, because only that much we can take, and that is full of mercy. Because only pure devotees like Srimati Radharani or Balram or Arjun could face the Lord direct into his eyes. But in general, the Lord's Kripa Drishti will create auspiciousness everywhere. And that is what the Lord started to do when he heard such beautiful prayers from verse number 1 to verse number 10. So the Lord becomes happy, because Krishna says that Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. When you continuously think about and talk about my activities, you get satisfaction and happiness. So let's see in the purport what they say. Lord Krishna's attraction is so powerful that once being attracted by him, one cannot tolerate the separation from him. That was absolutely not only for the gopis of Vrindavan, Hastinapur Vasis, Pancha Pandavas, Kunti Mata, Vidur Maharaj, but also for Dwarka Vasis. So the sun rays are the molecular particles, parts of the solar radiation, and thus the sun rays and the sun cannot be separated. So Krishna and his devotees cannot be separated. The separation by the cloud is temporary and artificial, and as soon as the cloud is cleared, the sun rays again display their natural effulgence in the presence of the sun. So this is beautifully explained by Srila Prabhupada. He says that the cloud will be there for temporary. Sometimes we also feel down and out by the effect of Maya. So when we feel down and out by the effect of Maya, all you need to do is just go in front of Krishna. Like, suppose you have anybody of you experienced that 7-8 days there has been continuous rain, especially in Mumbai, it happens like that sometimes. And there is not a single ray of sunlight available. So how do you feel after 7 days? Could anybody share their experience? How do you feel? You can unmute and speak.
Prabhu, it looks very gloomy, and you feel very, very sad once you're imprisoned in the house for 7-8 days and it is raining outside. So it looks very bad, sad.
Your spirit goes down, Prabhu. Absolutely right. You just don't feel like doing anything. And the moment when the first sun rays comes out, how do you feel then? You just feel a little bit. Yes,
energy will feel a lot of freshness.
Yeah. So you see, this is what happens to us also. Like, so let's take this 6-7 days or 6-7 janmas in the context of our lives, that we have changed so many bodies and we are away from Krishna for 6-7 janmas. You will feel down and out. And the moment you come in the association of Krishna's devotees, you will feel energized, you will feel enlivened. This is what exactly happens. So that's the reason it says, similarly, the living entities who are molecular parts and parcels of the whole spirit are separated from the Lord by artificial covering of Maya or illusory energy. And this illusory energy or the curtain of Maya has to be removed. And when it is to be done, the living entity can see the Lord face to face. So basically, we talk a lot about Maya many a times. Ye Maya mein hai. So Maya, technically, she is just a maidservant of Krishna. And she's just doing what we wanted her to do. I will give you a short story over here before we proceed for the next verses. When we actually came into existence, when Krishna created us long time ago, we do not know when, how, where. We don't even know that actually. Not in the material world. Maybe whenever we go back to the spiritual world, we'll definitely remember when that thing happened. So at some point of time, we were created. We were created by the Lord. And after the creation, what happened was, I will just give you some. Let's see where we took birth. Would you all like to know where you had taken birth in the first time?
Yes, please.
Are you able to see this chart?
Not yet, Prabhuji.
Not yet, no? Okay. Because I have to stop share and then share screen and take you to Golok Vrindavan. Okay. So can you see it now?
It is coming up, Prabhuji. Not yet.
Yeah, it will come.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I have taken you to the border of the material and the spiritual world now. So just think that you are somewhere here. You can see the cursor, Prabhu. Yeah. You can see this line. This is Brahma Jyoti and this is the material world. So at the point of creation, when Narayana created us and he left us over here, because we are the Tathastha Shakti or marginal Shakti of the Lord. So we are kept over here on the border of the spiritual and the material world. At this point of time, please understand, you are fully cognizant. You are not under Maya. You are in complete knowledge of what is right, what is wrong, what is the supreme truth, who is the supreme truth, who is Maya, everything you know. And the Lord leaves you over here on this border and he says, take a call. Where do you want to go? You want to be with me in Vaikuntha, or you want to go down and be the Lord of the material world? So now with the intelligence and the knowledge that we have at the point of birth, when we are fully cognizant and not under the influence of Maya, this particular knowledge, what I'm sharing with you, is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the father of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was the initiating spiritual master of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So in his book called Dashamula Tattva, in chapter number 6, he talks about how the living entity came into existence and how the living entity made a decision of either going up or coming down.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yeah.
Last time when we were doing the verses, there was a sentence when we have some debate, and not debate rather, we waited for the clarification that once your class comes, then. And now since you have opened the chart, the sentence in the 111.8 is that Yeh Shir Sagar Tatha Shwet Deep, that is the ocean of milk and the white deep.
Yeah.
Brahm ग्रह इस ब्रह्मांड के अंतर्गत वैकुंठ लोक की प्रतिक्रिया हैं, that is they are the
yeah, please go ahead. Yes,
just a minute, let me open the English one.
Yeah.
They are the replica of the Vaikunt Lok.
Yeah, with the ocean of milk, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, the ocean of milk and white you can say the Shwet Deep, which are there in this Brahman.
Yeah.
So,
can you see it on your left side?
My question was, are they the part of the material world?
They are within the material world to take care of the administration requirement of the running of this particular universe. You can see that particular word Shirodakshaya Vishnu. Shir means milk, Shirasagara. Okay. And I'll just blow it up a little bit more so that you can clearly see the personality. Are you able to see Prabhuji?
Yeah.
So this is the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, and he is staying in the pole star, Dhruvatara. So this Dhruvatara is the Bhulok Vaikuntha of this material world, an Amsha of Vaikuntha. Okay. And you can just read this. It says, Dhruvalok or pole star is the abode of Shirodakshaya Vishnu within this material world. And upon it is the ocean of milk. And within that ocean is an island known as Shvetadvipa. Shirodakshaya Vishnu as Paramatma Supersoul is situated in everyone's heart and in every atom. So this is the Paramatma.
So this replies all the questions.
Yeah. Clear, Prabhu?
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. So now we go back to the Tathastha area where we are going to take a call. So we are here. Okay. We are here. And from here, the Lord tells, take a call. Would you like to be the Lord, trying to go to the material world and lord over the material things and try to replicate me as the Lord? Or would you want to come to the Vaikuntha? So the Jiva, he sees both the things. He sees the whole material world. He sees the whole spiritual world. He sees that within the material world, it is only just 10% of the population. Spiritual world is 90% of the population is in spiritual world. The spiritual world size is 3/4 of the creation. The material world is 1/4 of the creation. All these things he knows. And then eventually he decides, okay, let me be the servant of the Lord. And then he goes up and he gets into his Swarupa and serves the Lord. But some of us, we decided, why don't we go down and see what's happening? Why don't we lord over for some time? So then we take a call and come down. Then the moment we come down the material world, then we get into the avarnika vritti of Maya. Avarana means curtain. In Sanskrit, avarana means curtain. The curtain of Maya completely overcomes our knowledge and intelligence, and we start thinking, I am the Lord, I am the Ajor. So what it says, Ishwaroham, Aham Bhogi, Siddhoham Balwan Sukhi. I am Ishwara, means I am the master. Aham Bhogi, because I am the master, I am the enjoyer. Siddhoham, and because I have both this power, I am Siddhi Purush, I am perfect. Balwan, I am the most strongest. Sukhi, mere jaisa sukhi koi nahi hai. So this Danavi Pravritti comes in our mind, and we start challenging the existence of the Lord, and we become Damama Dushkritino Mudaha, Prapadyante Naradamaha, Maya Paritagyanam, Asuram Bhava, Ashritaha. So we become Asurik Pravritti, and eventually we fall down. But as we fall down, that is not the end of it. Because please remember, Krishna clearly says that Mamayava Amsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Oh my dear Arjun, you are all my part and parcel. So it means that Shakti is there. The quality is there. It's only that you have not empowered it. So when you are down and out and you start feeling morose, oh, I'm sad. What do I do? How do I get out of this? Is there a way to do it? And that is the time Krishna's sent gurus, they come in your life. And a devotee comes and says, you are in problem? Yes. Why don't you join us? Okay. What do we do there? Well, you have tried so many things in life. Why don't you try this? What's the harm? No, Prabhu, I don't believe in it. Prabhu, there are so many things you believed in. It didn't work for you. So why? And there is nothing, there is no harm. So then he says, okay, let me try. Hum dekh lete hain isko. So he starts coming, associating Ado Shraddha, have some faith, Tata Sadhu Sang. Then you come into the association of devotees. The Bhajana Kriya starts, wherein you start chanting the names of the Lord, hearing the glories of the Lord, associating with the devotees, going on a Dham Yatra, preaching to the people, and slowly you change your lifestyle, because then you start seeing that it makes a great value. So that's how it happens. It's like a trinity. Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajana Kriya. Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajana Kriya. Shraddha, Sadhu Sang. So the wheel keeps taking on and on and on and on. So what happens? When you do that in a very nice way, the centrifugal force created by that starts breaking the anartha nivritti. The anarthas in our life, the useless things in our life which are no value, we become nivritta of that. And once that anartha nivritti takes place, then your nishtha becomes, or you become consolidated, that yes, I know I'm not capable of being on the topmost level, but I'm sure about it that my path is not. And one fine day, by the mercy of the Lord and the association of devotees, I will definitely reach the goal of life. So, then nishtha. So these things when happen, anartha nivritti, then nishtha comes. After nishtha comes ruchi, taste. Like every Saturday, I see that you all religiously come and listen to the Bhagavatam section. So this is your ruchi or taste. आपको किसमें रुचि है? बोले प्रभु मुझे भागवत सुनने में रुचि आ रही है आजकल, because I can correlate and I feel that I'm getting better. So I'll take you only up to ruchi as of now, because let's not go beyond. So then it happens that the soul which had fallen down now starts coming up. So that time when he was fallen down, he was in Avarnika Vritti. He was under the curtain of Maya. Now somehow he has torn that curtain by chanting the holy names of the Lord and associating with the devotees. He caught the hand of the Lord as devotees, and the devotees slowly picking them. So I would just open up once again for a small discussion. So what do you feel, my dear devotees, friends? That's it. Maya is looking that this soul is going up and eventually is going to cross this Brahmanda and go out to the Virja river and then go back to Godhead. So is it allowed? How do you feel so? And what is your opinion?
It is very much allowed, Prabhu. Only thing is
Prabhu?
that, devotional service, the level of devotional service we render, that will only make our journey easy.
Yeah, true. Now, what happens over here, Prabhu? Maya is also Mama Maya Durattaya. No, Krishna says Daivi Isha Gunamai. Mama Maya. So initially she gave you under the Avarnika Vritti. But now you became smart, you became active, you became knowledgeable, you became a devotee. So do you see that not normally do all the devotees make it to Golok or Golok Dham? No. We have seen people falling down from there also. Have you heard about it, that people falling down from devotional practices? You must have heard, right?
Yes, many times.
Yeah. So why
Yeah.
does that happen? Even the faith is there, the knowledge is there, the nishtha is there. That time Maya uses a second tool called Prakshepa Vritti. The Prakshepa Vritti is the most difficult one to go ahead and get out of it. Because what she does, with all the knowledge that you have acquired about Krishna, and based on which when you are going to back home, back to Godhead, she makes a slight deviation in the thought process. Slight deviation in your understanding from the actual understanding. Now, you are almost there, 19-20 ka farak hai, but theek hai, chalega. Now I will ask you one question. I'm sure that we are not very great scientists, but if you understand the parabola in mathematics, so suppose there is a path for one satellite to go if it has to reach the destination moon. And that path is plotted and put in the system, and then accordingly the button is pressed, and that satellite is expected to go through that path and go up. Now what happens at the time of launching? Some gentleman comes and changes it by just 1 meridian or 1 degree. What will be the end result, Prabhus and Prabhujis? I think it will miss the moon by 10,000 miles.
It may crash also.
Yeah, either it may crash or it may just simply miss the target. Now this Prakshepa Vritti works like that of Maya. She just puts that doubt in your mind. अरे चलेगा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, इतना कठिन करने का, थोड़ा relax हो जाते हैं. And the moment we get into that mood of Prakshepa Vritti's bait, you have had it. And that is why after so many yogis they have fallen down. Now, what happens over here? This is what the question of Arjuna. In chapter number 8, he said, my dear Krishna, my problem is not your devotion. My problem is if on this way to devotion, I pass away and it is left halfway, or it is missed completely, what do I do? So that is where Krishna says, he says, Prapya punya kritam lokan, ushitva shashvati samaha, suchinam srimatam gehe, yogo bhrashta abhijayate. Oh my dear Arjuna, don't worry. I am also saying that you have made a sincere effort, but yes, due to some reasons you could not. Because Mama Maya Durattaya. See, we as devotees are creating so many soldiers who are fighting against Maya. And we are defeating her soldiers. So I'm sure she's not going to sit quiet and watch the show. She's also going to knock out a few senapatis in our side, because that's how the war goes. It's not that only one side is killing and other side is getting killed. Both sides have to have sacrifice. So in our case also, many of the stalwart devotees, they fight the battle, they get wounded, they also fall down. So that time we suddenly become very critical. Oh, this guy fell down. How he fell down? No, that is not acceptable. You have to accept it. Because he will fall down and he will rise again. If Krishna is telling that I will give him the position to rise, who are we to criticize and discard that person? That's very, very important for us to understand that Maya's Prakshepa Vritti works in a very subtle way. Very subtle way. And that is one of the reasons Krishna says that he says, Pariprashna Yasevaya. Pranipat Pariprashna Sevaya. Upadekshati te gnanam. So when you go to the Guru, never ever show that you are very knowledgeable. Because that, when that feeling comes that I am knowledge, because Krishna says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Sampanna means completion. The completion of the Vidya comes from vinamrata. लेकिन अभी क्या होता है? विद्या अहंकार संपन्न. Oh, I am so and so. I am qualified. I am a scientist. I am a PhD. I am a doctorate. I am a laureate. I am a Nobel Peace winner. But the moment you start feeling proud about your knowledge, it attracts a prostitute by the name of fall down. Chanakya Niti says that. For one who is very knowledgeable but he has pride, that pride is the prostitute which will destroy the knowledge. So Chanakya says, be careful. So here we have to understand that in the Prakshipa Vritti, when we are fighting the war, more so you require Guru's mercy and Vaishnava's association. In the end, what happens is you reach somewhere here. This is, I'm telling that you have came down, you have realized, and you are going up now, Urdhva Gati. So when you reach somewhere here, after the Mahatattva, there is an area which is completely like a transparent glass. That's the reason we could not show it here. So it says earth, water, air, fire, ether, false ego, Mahatattva. And this is the area of mind. And here, like each one has got a Vasudev, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyuman, Surya, Narayan, Lord Matsya, Lord Varaha, right? So you see that there are each personalities for each element to worship. So in the end, you have the mind and you have Maya Devi sitting there. Maya Devi sitting after Mahatattva. That is, this is the Maya Devi. And you know who is our worshipable deity here? Can anybody take a call? Just take a call. Who is the worshipable deity?
Like,
Is it Mahadev? Is it Mahadev?
Mohini. The same Mohini जिन्होंने महादेव को मोहित कर दिया था. So Mohini and Maya Devi, they sit over here in this area. And when you reach here, because it is transparent, Prabhu, this is something Jayadvat Maharaj shared with us when we were there with him at one point of time. So he said that when you reach here, the rays of Brahma Jyoti you can feel here. You know, you are sitting in the house through the glass door, and now especially in the winter, we will enjoy that sun rays, you know, you'll feel so nice. So once you reach in this area, the rays of Brahma Jyoti are coming here. So Maya Devi will tell you, and you will feel that, you know, Brahmanandi, you'll become a Brahmanandi. Technically speaking, you'll feel the Brahmanandi, that, oh yes, you can feel the bliss of Brahma Jyoti. At that point of time, Maya Devi will say, you have almost reached. Whether you be here or here is the same. So why go all the way over there? Be here and just take this. Be Brahmanandi. So that is her Mohini tactics. वो आपको मोहित कर रही है. So that time you have to just pray to your Guru Maharaj and say, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Oh Mother, I have to go on my Guru's instruction and complete my service to the Lord. Kindly allow me to please pass away from you. That intelligence the Guru will give you that time. And when you say this, she opens the gate and you go up. Maya is not bad. She is only testing and correcting us. Please understand that somebody who punishes us cannot be always wrong. And somebody who always glorifies us cannot be always right. So, here Maya Devi is only doing what she is supposed to do. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Shadana Shakti Rekha Chayana Yasya Vibhanani Vibharti Durga Ichchanurupa Vicheshtata Cheshtatesha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. Ichchanurupa. Kiski इच्छा से? गोविंद के अनुरूप इच्छा से she is doing this job. And if you say, okay, my dear mother, I agree to what you say, then the Prakshepa Vritti puts you down to Avarnika Vritti again, and you fall down from there. So there are many stages of fall down in spiritual life also. And at each places, you cannot go by your own strength, own knowledge, own understanding, own power. It is every time you require the mercy of the Vaishnava. That is the reason we say Vancha Kalpatarubheshya. That's the reason we say Paradukha Dukhi. Never we should feel proud about our knowledge and our achievements and our siddhi, because this will come. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. These are on the gross level. Puja, Labh, Pratishtha is on a subtle level. So somewhere or the other, you will always end up being attracted. Oh, puja. Somebody will worship. Oh, Prabhu, you are so great. Labh. Oh, Prabhu, I have got something for you. Pratishtha. Oh, Prabhu, you be seated here. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warns us with that. He says, never get into these things. Just be Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadhari. So this is how I showed you that Avarnika Vritti, how it works, Prakshepa Vritti, how it works. So we will go back to the next verse. And should you have any doubts, we'll definitely discuss on that. Yeah.
Prabhu, this chart, this source of this chart is from where we can get it?
I will share with Subal Prabhu, he will distribute to all of you.
Okay.
After this class, I will share it with Prabhuji and he will give it to you. You can spend some time reading that, you will love it. Okay. So this particular word, the illusory energy or the curtain of Maya has to be removed so that the living entity can see the Lord face to face, and all his miseries are at once removed. Every one of us want to remove the miseries of life, but we don't know how to do it. The solution is given here, the rest, and it rests on us to assimilate or not. That's what I said, that when you're down and out, a devotee comes, spend some time. Let's see the next one. What it says, Madhubhoja Dasharaha Kukurandaka Vrishnibihi Atmatulya Balavir Guptam Nagar Bhogavitamiva. As Bhogavati, the capital of Nagaloka, is protected by Nagas, so was Dwarka protected by the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja, Madhu, Darsha, Dasharaha, Araha, Kurka, Andaka, and who were as strong as Lord Krishna. So it talks about the full lineage over here. Nagaloka planet is situated below the Earth planet. Just a minute. I can show that to you again. It's better that since I've opened the chart, why not show you? So you see there are two abodes of Nagas. There are two abodes of Nagas. One is here, Mahatala, and one is Patala. So the Vasuki, with whom the churning was done, with the Mandarachal Parvat, he stays here, Vasuki stays here. And this is where Bhima had also gone. Bhimsen bhi idhar hi gaya tha, niche. And when they gave him the poisonous laddu and rolled him into the water, so he went to this Vasuki and he became 10,000 times stronger and came back. So the Nagalok, what they are talking about is this and this. Yeah. So it says that the Nagalok planet is situated below the Earth planet. It is understood that the sun rays are hampered there. The darkness of the planet is however removed by the flashes of the jewel on the head of the Nagas, the celestial serpents. And it is said there are beautiful gardens, rivulets for enjoyment of Nagas. It is understood that here also there is a place which is protected by the inhabitants. So if you remember, once Arjuna was, when he was swimming, he was pulled down to the Nagalok, and there he gets married to a Naga Kanya. So when Arjuna went to that area, in the Mahabharata, it is shown that the entire, hum log ne bachpan mein suna Nagmani. We were all fascinated by the stories in our childhood about the Nag and the Nagmani. Then people said it is Mithya. It is not Mithya. It is really there. Because the sun rays cannot go below the earth plate. So Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, the 7 lower planetary systems, they have their own lighting system in their way. And the Nagas, they have the Nagmani. And this Mani removes all the darkness, the so-called darkness over there. But that is an area of complete sense enjoyment. It is also called Bilva Swarga, Bel Swarga. which goes down below the earth. So at some point of time, we will discuss that actually. So like how the Nagas had protected their city, Krishna has also protected the Dwarka. Then it says, Sarvatu Sarva Vibhava Vibhava Punya Vriksha Latasmrahi Udayano Pavanarmare Vrita Padmakara Shriyam. The city of Dwarka was filled with opulence of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flowers, gardens, parks, reservoir of water breeding lotus flower all over. So it's like, when we say, please understand, Dwarka and Hastinapur were cities. Mahanagar. How should the Mahanagar look like? It should have hermitage, orchards, flower gardens, parks, reservoir of water breeding lotus flower. How is our Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore? Do you see anything of like this? Just think about it. It used to be at one point of time. When I was pretty young, I remember that we used to have water ponds, and there used to be some lotus flowers. And hermitage to nahi hota tha, but chote chote mandir hote the, flower gardens hote the, parks hote the. People could pick a few flowers and go. Now you see what has become, what is Mumbai right now. You can't think of it. So that is the reason it has become Tamoguni. City is basically Rajoguni and jungles are Satvaguni, but here it has become Tamoguni. So perfection of human life is made possible by utilizing the gifts of the nature. Here, as we find here with the description of opulence. So Dwarka was surrounded by flower gardens, fruit orchards, reservoirs of water, growing lotuses. There is no mentions of mills and factories supported by slaughterhouses. See, which are the necessary paraphernalia for so modern metropolises. So staying in the city is not a problem. You can definitely stay in the city, but city which is having slaughterhouses, mills and factories definitely is not conducive for your spiritual life. The propensity to utilize nature's own gift is still there, even in the heart of the modern civilized man. The leaders of the civilization select their own residential quarters in a place where they are not. Yeah, you see the outhouse or the weekend houses of all these politicians and businessmen. They live this life, but for us, they put into cubicles. They will make a 35-story building, 1,000 square feet each flat, 2 BHK, 750 square feet, 1 BHK or 650 square feet, or 3 BHK, 1,300 square feet, but they are like pigeonholes. And then within the house, we put the plants and gardens and all that. Why we put plants? Because actually it is natural for us. So here it says that, but leave the common man to reside in congested areas without parks and gardens. So herein, of course, we find different description of the city of Dwarka. It is understood that the whole dham or the residential quarter was surrounded by such gardens and parks with the reservoir of where lotus grows. It is understood that the people depended on nature's gifts of fruits and flowers. I'll tell you, Prabhus, recently, 3 months back, I had been to Georgia, which is a gateway destination for many of us from Dubai. I'm not sure how many of you have been there, but I happened to be there in the month of July. And believe me, one day we were traveling from one city to another city, and it was full bounty. I was feeling hungry. I just got down. I took some pears. I took some raspberries from the trees and I ate it, and then I went ahead. So it's not that everything is down and out. There are places where you can do this. So when I took some lot of pictures also, I had a lot of plums with me, a lot of apricots, pears, raspberry, cherry, and it was in sufficient quantity. Just 3-4 pieces we had, some of these, each of them were filling, because there was no stores or anything in between, no petrol pump. It was a long drive, and this particular fruits and flower gardens, we just enjoyed ourselves actually. Believe me, it was great. So, people depended on nature's gifts of fruits and flowers without industrial enterprise, promoting filthy huts and slums for residential quarters. Anybody here from Mumbai? Anybody here from Mumbai?
Yes,
No
Prabhu.
your experience early morning in the Borivali Andheri train with people sitting both sides to pass the stool. Seen it. This is city life for us, slums. Now you just see what we are getting to see in Bhagavatam over here. Advanced civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills and factories to deteriorate the finer instinct of human being, but on developing the potent spiritual instincts of the human being. Given actually, this particular cutout should be there in each one of us house. I always say that because some of Prabhupada's, not some, in fact, all of them, what he has written is great. You see this, how he has put it. He said, advancement of civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills that deteriorate the finer instinct of the human being. It's absolutely fine, but on developing the potent spiritual instinct of the human beings and giving them a chance to go back to Godhead. Development of factories and mills are called ugra karma or pungent activities, and such activities deteriorate the finer sentiments of human. And so now it's a win-win situation, cut right. And see here it is mentioned that the pious trees which produce seasonal flowers. How many of you used to collect the parijat or prajakta flowers early morning in your childhood for offering to Krishna or your deities at home? Did you do that anytime, Prabhus? I'm just reviving your childhood.
We used to do, Prabhuji.
Yeah, some flowers you will take in a basket.
Yeah, every day morning we used to plug the flowers in a basket for puja.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it used to be my like, we used to get the different flowers, the red ones and the white ones, and especially this parijat or prajakta with the orange stem. It used to be so beautifully, the aroma and the fragrance will be so nice. So this is what Srila Prabhupada is just mentioning. It's very natural for us. So in the modern cities, such impasse trees are planted on the sides of the road. Human energy should be utilized properly in developing the finer sense of spiritual understanding. So fruits, flowers, beautiful gardens, parks, reservoirs with ducks, swans, play in the midst of lotus water, cow giving sufficient milk and butter. So all Prabhupada is doing is taking us 100 years back. Because all these things were still prevalent. Even in the deeper remote villages and all, if you go, I'm sure that you will see these lifestyles. All that you don't require is some, crazy things to happen over there. Next it says, now from here the decoration starts. Gopura Dwara Margeshu, Krita Katautuka Toranam, Chitra Dhwaja Pataka Agrer, Antaha Parihanta Pataku. So the city gateway, the household doors, they were done with patakas, those beautiful, we used to do it during Ganesh Chaturthi when we were small, and Navratri. We used to put the patakas on the place and everything. And then the arches, the roads were nicely decorated with festive signs like plantain trees and mango leaves. So we also do during Satyanarayan Puja in the house. Traditionally, they will put the plantain leaves. During Tulsi Viva, they'll put the plantain leaves. During Graha Pravesh Puja, I normally advise people to put small plantains outside their house because it attracts auspiciousness with mango leaves to welcome. So flags, garlands, painted signs and slogans all combined to shade the sunshine. You see, this is so important that we do it on a regular basis because this pleases the Lord. Why the Dwarkavasis were doing that? Because anything that looks good, it feels good. You have a great feeling. And then when you are inviting and receiving such a great personality, the Supreme Personality, definitely you have to do it. So even when you have some seniors coming to your house or your superiors coming to your house or some elderly people or some guru coming to your house, we should always decorate the house nicely, as beautiful as possible. And it is given over here, see, gifts of the nature as plantain trees, mango trees, fruits, flowers, coconut, palms, plantain, everything is done over here. And then you should have some picture of Garuda or Hanuman. Next, what it says, Samarjita Mahamarga, Rathaya Panaka Chatavaram, Siktam, Gandha Jala Ruptam, Hala Pushpani Karve. So it says that the highways, sublanes, marked public places were thoroughly cleansed and then moisten with scented water, and welcome the Lord. Fruits, flowers, unbroken seeds were strewn everywhere. So, you decorate, you make rangolis, you make flower rangolis, you make colorful rangolis, you put grain rangolis, to just attract the Lord. And here it says, see, scented water by distilled like rose and kevda, where request on the road. Subal Prabhu is there with me many a times in Abhishek. He knows that we use the rose and kevda water to bathe the Lord also. So sprinkling, bathing, these are very, very important. So that there should be nice khushbu. And see, the marketplaces, public meeting places were cleansed thoroughly. Why? Because the Lord was coming. And nicely decorated with fruits. Unbroken seeds of grain were also strewn over the public places. Unbroken seed of the saints in the seedling stage was considered auspicious. Sprouted. We normally have Navratri ke time pe dekho hum sprout rakhte hain, because this is the sign of auspiciousness. Actually, this will revive you back your childhood, Prabhupada. That's the reason this is one of my favorite chapters actually. Dwari Dwari Grihanam cha Dadya Akshata Palakshu Shubhihi Alankritam Purna Kumbhaira Balabir Dhupa Deepaka. In each house and door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruit, means full fruits, sugar cane, and full water pots with article worships of agarbatti, candles were displayed. Diya, dhoop, deep. So technically, हम normally Diwali के time ये सब करते हैं, but ideally I would say, if possible, you should do this every day. 2 दिया at least दरवाजे में लगाना चाहिए, 1 दिया तुलसी के पास लगाना चाहिए, on a day-to-day basis, and it brings a lot of auspiciousness. And always be in the mood of decoration. At least once a week, decorate your temple altar very nicely. See, the process of reception according to Vedic rite is not at all dry. The reception were not made simply decorating the roads, but by worshipping the Lord with requisite ingredients like incense, lamps, flowers. So how do you get a chance? Sometimes you have the Utsav Murti coming out. So you can show Dhupa, Deepa, Naivedya. Naivedya you can go and give it to the Palki. They will accept it. And from far you can show Dhupa and Deep and everything. So this brings a lot of auspiciousness. So we all offer to the Lord the remnants of the foodstuff distributed among the gathering citizen. So it is not like a dry reception. It is very, very nice. So this is our typical Vedic culture. Then it says, Nishamya Preshtam Ayantam Vasudevo Mahamanaha Akruras Chograrhenascha Ramas Chadbhuta Vikramaha Pradyumanas Charu Deshanacha Sambo Jamavati Sutaha Praharsha Vegochuttisha Shashasana Bhojana. So now he has just reached home. He is not yet reached home. The message has reached home. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching the Dwarka Dham, magnanimous Vasudev, Akrura, Ugrasem, Balram, the superhumanly powerful, Pradyuman, Charudeshna, Samba, the son of Jambavati, all were extremely happy, abandoned their resting, sitting and dining. मैंने बताया ना 2.5 साल के बाद भगवान घर आ रहे थे. So it was very, very difficult for. So there is a beautiful description given about each personality over here. So they immediately felt that they should. So in this Vasudev, definitely the son of King Shurasena, husband of Devaki and father of Lord Sri Krishna, brother of Kunti and father of Subhadra. Subhadra was married to her cousin Arjun. The system is prevalent in some parts. So that is what they have given, that who is there. So in each one you can see Akrura was commander who had been chosen to bring Krishna and Balram in the palace of Kamsa, and eventually Kamsa was killed by Krishna. And also Akrura was the same person who supported Arjuna when Arjuna took Subhadra away by the will of Krishna. So but there was a small change in the technique over there. All Krishna told Arjuna was that when you are going to sit and climb, when you're going to climb and sit on the Rath, ensure that the reins are in the hand of Subhadra. So it looked like Subhadra kidnapped Arjuna and went away. And that's what, when Balram was very furious and he wanted to kill or punish Arjun. Krishna said, why you want to punish Arjun? See, who is kidnapped whom? In fact, this our sister has brought a disgrace for us. So that is the time Balram smiled and he said, Kana, this is your idea. Subhadra will not think that far, but it is you who have made it. Anyway, I am agreeing to him as our son-in-law. I am agreeing him as a brother-in-law. Let's get them back and get properly married. That is how it was done. So then Ugrasen was about the king. Baldev, of course, no matter how much you talk about Baldev, it is less. The beauty of the Baldevas was, Baldev is what, Krishna and Balram. They are two bodies, one soul. But Krishna is the enjoyer and Balram is the servant. The mood of Balram is to serve. One is white-bodied, one is black-bodied. The one in black body is Krishna. He is the master, he is the enjoyer. And Balram always thinks, how should I work and make Krishna happy? So if you go to see originally, Balram actually came into the womb of Devaki first. Balram did not go to the womb of Rohini first. He came into the womb of Devaki. Why? Because remember one thing, Balram is Ananta Shesha. He is the bed of Krishna. And he is the servant of Krishna. So when he came into the womb of Devaki, he just ensured that it was all auspicious. And he left his one Amsha over there in the womb of Devaki. And then from there, by Yoga Maya, he was transferred, Sankarshan. He was pulled. So he got attracted to the womb of Rohini. And that's how he became Rohini Nandan. And then if you see when Krishna came after Balram in the womb of Devaki, and when Vasudeva just took the baby Krishna and put it in the basket and put it on the head, the Ananta Shesh came on top. So that is the reason Balram is everything about Krishna. Krishna's dress, Krishna's flute, Krishna's kirid, Krishna's kundal, Krishna's, decoration. Anything and everything that what Krishna has is Balram. And this is the beauty of Balram, that he's always thinking, how should I serve Krishna? And Balam also means spiritual strength, not physical. So all our strength and understanding comes from Balram, because Balram is the original teacher. And you see, Balram had killed one asur by the name of Dhenukasur. Dhenu means Gada. Gada means ignorance. So Guru always removes our ignorance. Om Agyana Timira Andasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya. Agyan or ignorance is removed by Guru. So that is the reason when Balram kills Dhenukasur, it means it is removing our ignorance. So that was a symbolic over there. And then Pradyumna is the incarnation of Kamdev. According to the others, incarnation of Sanat Kumara, born as the son of personality of Godhead, and Lakshmi Devi, Srimati Rukmini Devi. And the principal queen of Dwarka. He was one of the one who went to congratulate Arjuna upon marrying Subhadra. And the beauty of Pradyumna is also that, he exactly looks like Krishna. If you see his facial features and all, he exactly looks like Krishna. Even his bodily features are like that. So Charudeshna is another son of Krishna and Rukmini. Samba, the man who was the person because of whom the Yaduvanshi collapsed, it is mentioned over here. He was dressed as a pregnant woman by his brothers, and in fun, he asked the rishis that what he is going to deliver. The rishi replied that he would deliver a lump of iron, which will be the cost of the death of the family. And that is what happened. So Samba also died in that war. So this is how it goes over here. And it is 11:10 now. So I open the forum for discussion. I think I was supposed to deal till 17. Subal Prabhu? 9 to 17. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yes, it was for till 17.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So I hope that it was good to revive our old memories, and we also need to practice the same and ensure that the next generation also understands the importance of these things. Talking about Krishna going to Brajabhumi. So Krishna went actually thrice to Brajabhumi in overall, but it is given in other books like Gopala Champu, Garga Samhita. These are some of the books written by Acharyas. So there, Krishna sometimes used to spend more than 2-3 months, visit the gopis, be with them, have a Ras Leela, have a good time, meet Radharani, talk to them, give them the solace, and then come back. And they were also very, very happy about it. In one particular point, it so happens that whenever there used to be a solar eclipse, especially the complete solar eclipse, traditionally everybody goes to Kurukshetra, takes bath over there, and do the purification. And this is one of the reasons where Krishna would also travel from Dwarka, because the gopis from Vrindavan would come there and they would meet. One particular time, Srimati Radharani was very, very morose and she wanted to see the Lord. And she told her Sakhi Lalita, and she said, Lalita, I really want to see the Lord, but I do not understand how do we see him. And Lalita said, well, there is a solar eclipse around the corner. So I know about a place where if you go and take bath and remember the Lord appears, because the Lord is promised. So this is the place called Bindu Sarovar. This place is in Gujarat on the way to Ahmedabad to Rajasthan, and it is called Siddhapur. This is the place where Kardam Muni meditated on the Lord and pleased him with his wife Devavati, and they were blessed with Kapil Muni as their son. And this place, Kardam Muni, when he prayed to the Lord with his tapasya, that was before the marriage. So the tears of happiness fell from the eyes of Lord Narayana into the Sarovar. Bindu means boond. And then Lord Narayana blessed Kardam Muni. He said, you will get an appropriate wife. She will be a great devotee, and I will come as your son and bless both of you. And that is the place that when Kardam Muni eventually saw that Kapil Muni had taken birth, so he took sannyas and went away, and Kapil Muni take care of his mother, Devavati. And in the end, when she was about to be liberated, he propounded the truth and bhakti to her, and this is how she was able to go back home, back to Godhead. So this Bindu Sarovar is also called Matragaya. When the mother passes away in our house, or whenever that happens, you can go there and do the Tarpanam, because my mother Devavati attained Godhead from there. So this is called Matragaya. These are technical information. But coming back to when Radharani came to know this, she told Lalita and the Brajvasis, tell everyone we are not going to Kurukshetra this time, we are going to Siddhapur. So they traveled all the way from Vrindavan to Siddhapur. The Lord, being the Antarayami Paramatma in the heart of the people, told his accomplices and 16,000 wives, listen, it's too far every time to travel. I have some additional jobs to do. Why don't we go to Siddhapur this time? Bindu Sarovar. Yes. So Radharani's camp reached a day before. They set up their tents near the Sarovar. They put the big saris so that the ladies can take bath and at different timings. And the Lord knew that Radharani is there. And just before that, Rukmini and Satyabhama had a desire. Why Krishna is so attracted to Radha? मन में वो बात है, पूछ नहीं सकते हैं. हस्बैंड है, बुरा लग जाएगा तो. But Krishna as Paramatma was smiling, so he decided to take them and bring. So this entire Sarva Karana Karanaminu, he decided, okay, let my queens also meet. Of course, they could have met in Kurukshetra also. That is another question. But that time they never thought about it. But this time they were thinking a few days. So the Lord said, okay, so the soldiers, they went and they did some arguments with the Brajavasis that the king of Dwarka is here, so you should vacate this place. So what the Brajavasis did, they took the lathi and they hammered them out. So they went and complained to Krishna that this is happens. Krishna said, they are first come, first serve, let them be there. You make the tent a little bit away. Why are you bullying them? It's okay. Everybody's come for a religious purpose. So then Radharani and Lalita Vishaka, early morning, they went into the kunda and they took the bath. So Krishna appeared over them. And Radharani was shocked to see Krishna almost after maybe at least 10-15 years, maybe. Directly. In person, in a secluded. Where is it like? So then it went on for some time. So Krishna said, well, you know who's inside there? Radha has come from Vrindavan. Oh, they said Radha has come? Said, yeah. So then Rukmini said, we would like to have our audience. Can you please guide us? How do we meet her? Because she comes from a different background culture. So we are a princess and she's the queen of Vrindavan, but she's a Gwalan. So what can we take for her? So he said, just take some simple flowers and fruits, but she loves kesar milk, you know, kesar, saffron milk. In the night, she takes saffron milk. So go sit with her, spend some time. So Rukmini and Satyabhama were very excited. At last, we can see Radha. So they came. The whole 16,108 wives of Krishna, they went to Radha's place with Rukmini and Satyabhama, Jambati, Nagnajita, all in the lead. And the description of Garga Samhita says, these beautiful queens who are each like a star, shooting star. When they came in front of Radha, it was as if on the full moon night, there was only one queen Radha, and they all lost their magnanimity and the Florence. And when they saw the beauty of Radharani, it was like Rukmini said, oh, no wonder Krishna is so attracted to her. Satyabhama, oh, she is such beauty she has not seen. So they approached Radha. Radha was very smiling to them, pleasing to them, and they offered the milk. So Radharani drank the milk. They made her sleep, and they came back. And every night, Rukmini and Satyabhama, especially Rukmini, will press the lotus feet of the Lord, because that's her constitutional position, you know. Lakshmi ji is always on the feet of the Lord. So that night, she saw that Krishna's legs had so many blisters, you know. So she was shocked. She said, Bhagavan, what happened? Where these blisters came from? So the Lord was a little bit pained. He looked at Rukmini and he said, oh, my dear Rukmini, what have you done? He said, why? What happened? Did you feed the milk to Radha? Said, yes. What was the temperature of the milk? Oh, and Radha, Rukmini said, I'm very sorry, my dear Lord. It was boiling hot, but we got mesmerized by her beauty. He said, but she didn't say anything. No, she just accepted what you gave and she drank it. So when she drank it, the entire throat and the heart of Radha got burnt. So how the blister came in the feet of Krishna? Because Krishna's lotus feet is always in Radha's heart. So what is the moral over here? That in the devotee's heart, Krishna's lotus feet is always there. So when you hurt the heart of devotee, you're actually hurting the feet of Krishna. This is very important for us to understand in our bhakti. That sometimes we get agitated and angry, and sometimes, you know, we just feel that, you know, this is this and this is that. But remember one thing. Once a devotee, even if he's not up to the level, is accepted as a devotee, we should have means and ways to tackle things, but we should not directly hurt them, because you will end up hurting the feet of Krishna. Because in a devotee's heart, always the lotus feet of Krishna is there. And Radharani is the topmost devotee. Nobody surpasses her. Nobody reaches her. She is the supreme. She is the excellent. She is the one who controls Krishna and keeps him happy. So I thought, as a additional time was there, I thought I will tell you this story so that you can understand that how the devotees look at Krishna and how Krishna looks at devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Any questions anybody would like to ask?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhu.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Prabhuji, you just made a very nice point in the starting of your class, that we should always take the darshan of the Lord from either left side or right side.
Yeah.
So can you please elaborate on it, Prabhu, so that we can understand? Also, I have a very small question on this. Like you said, when some senior devotees or during our Guru Pravesh, we should decorate our houses nicely. So now, as we are staying in cities, so how can we try our best to decorate with this mango leaves, and apart from that, what we can use to decorate our houses?
Prabhu, the first question that you said was, can you repeat the first question first, Prabhu?
That you mentioned that we should always take the darshan from either from left side or right side of the Lord.
Because one thing is there, that there is also of awe and reverence. This was done by Ramanujacharya. In his teaching, he says that whenever you approach even big people, you will never go straight and say like that. You should always be on the side, because there is, when you go to the side, that is a sign of vinamrata. When you go in straight, that is a sign of arrogance, like you're standing. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It's like, level to level. But we are not on the level. So at that point of time, this Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu used to tell us, actually. We learned this from him, actually. And in one of the places in Bhagavatam, it talks about the side glances of Krishna. Have you heard that, Prabhu? I don't recollect in which area it is, but I very well remember that Krishna's side glance are more merciful than straight glance. I'll try to find it out. I'll ask Parmeshwar Prabhu only to quote it. Since he is going to do the Dhanurmas, he will be talking about it. So we have been trained to always approach even our elders and all, not straight up front, but on the side. Because that is one way of vinamrata, humility, that also addresses like, I am inferior to you, you are superior. So please, and then the Kripa Drishti, when it comes, when he changes his angle and sees, that is more Karunamay. That is what the explanation is. How much of the technicalities we understand, that is not important, but it has to be done that way. Second thing you said about in the cities, as much as possible, fresh flowers are still available in India also, in Dubai also. So whenever we have some senior devotees coming, decorate the house in a most beautiful way. Simple things, like you just take flowers and just put it on top. You put one toran with a mango leaf. I've just put that again, actually. I put it on a 15 days basis, keep changing toran and all that, because it brings a lot of auspiciousness. So mango leaves, banana leaves. If ever some devotees are coming, get 3 or 4 banana leaves. Even if you're offering something to it, cut a small banana leaf, put it in the plate and put something and give it back. It will give a so nice feeling. They will feel back to their roots. Whether it is south, north, east, west, banana leaf has its own charm. Whether it is prashadam or whether it is decoration, like suppose now you are having a small program in the house, right? So during the program, you will prepare bhoga for the devotees, right? So then your bhoga plate is ready. Even if you have a silver plate or a steel plate or whatever plate are there, get some banana leaves, cut it and put it on that. And then you put all the things on that and offer it on the banana leaf. Sukha item banana leaf pe rakh do, gila item katori mein rakh do. It will give you a feel of back to nature. And Krishna, aap kaun se mood mein Krishna ko pray karte ho? You are praying Krishna in Vrindavan or Krishna in Dwarka? It is Vrindavan, for God is Sampradaya. So the Lord also feels happy. So you should just start thinking in those terms that how you can make him happy, how you can make devotees happy. That's how it is. Yesterday we had a Gaur Nitai and Deity welcoming ceremony in the ashram. It was just brilliant, actually, beautiful marble deities. And we just put so much of mango leaves. And last but not the least, if your guru is coming or if some very senior Vaishnava is coming, you know what you all can do? You can make a plate, put some rice, put one kalash, put some water in that, put the mango leaves and one coconut. And when he comes and sits inside, just offer him. So he will just touch it. So this is tradition for us. And you can do a Swasti Vachan. Om Sahana Vavato Sahana Bhunakto. Just you can chant that. See, that day you heard this Prabhu, Vasugosh Prabhu chanting before the lecture. Remember?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So this is bringing auspiciousness. Swasti Vachan Hamesha Karna Chahiye. So this is how you can plan your programs, Prabhu. Let it be more traditional.
Jai. Thank you so very much, Prabhu, for enlightening us. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Excellent class.
Hare
Jai,
Krishna, Prabhu.
Jai. Anybody has any question?
No, Prabhu.
No.
Hare
Ah,
Krishna.
Great, great. So thanks a lot, Radhapada Pankaja Prabhu. Thank you so much for your fantastic class, like always. Please keep coming.
These are the deities, Prabhu, yesterday that we installed.
Jai. Excellent.
Hari bol.
So we had a
Hare
great
Krishna.
time actually yesterday. So it was, so this is Lord Nityananda
Jai.
and this is Lord Gauranga.
Jai.
Beautiful.
So we just did what was traditional to us, and we just put flowers and everything and all, and you will see that you will be in total bliss, Prabhus. You will be in total bliss. Thank you, Subal Prabhu, for the opportunity. I took you all even a little bit outside the material world, as usual, just to ensure that you get inspired. Sushil Prabhu, आपका answer मिल गया आपको उसमें?
Yeah, Prabhu.
I will share this picture, Prabhu.
This
Okay?
chart is important to
Yeah,
because
I
a
will
lot of
share
queries
it right
can.
away. I will share it with Subal Prabhu right away. I have done a lot of seminars on this class, basically, this chart actually.
Prabhu,
I
you
know.
get-
I think you have talked on creation. So when we'll come to chapter 2, then only you will be required. दूसरे कैंटो में सारा क्रिएशन ही है प्रभु.
At your service, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you had given this lecture on creation. I will upload that on YouTube and share this lecture with everybody. So,
Yeah.
so along with the chart, they can understand this as well.
Absolutely, Prabhu. They will have a great time. I'll send the chart right away to Subal Prabhu. Okay. And it's a PDF format. You can store it in a mobile also. It will be helpful. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I'll end the class, Prabhu.